The true story of an African samurai Yasuke. He stood nearly a foot taller than every man in the room. His skin, the color of obsidian, was said to shimmer in the sunlight. Children wept. Nobles gasped. Samurai reached for their swords. And yet, the warlord bowed. This is not fantasy. This is the true story of Yasuke the African who became a samurai. The 1500s were an age of empires. While Europe was busy carving up colonies, missionaries and mercenaries were pushing east, all the way to Japan. Japan at the time was fractured. Known as the Sengoku Jidai, or the Warring States period, it was an era of brutal civil war. Lords or daimyo fought for power. Into this chaos walked a man unlike any Japan had ever seen. His name? We don't know what it was at birth. But history would remember him as Yasuke. Yasuke is believed to have been born around 1555, likely in Mozambique, Ethiopia, or Sudan, regions that were frequented by Portuguese traders and Jesuit missionaries. Scholars still debate his exact origins, but all agree. He was African, and likely came to Japan as the bodyguard of a Jesuit missionary named Alessandro Valignano. Valignano wasn't just any missionary. He was one of the highest-ranking Jesuits overseeing the missions in Asia. When he landed in Japan in 1579, he brought Yasuke with him. Yasuke wasn't a slave. He was a trusted protector, trained, imposing, and dignified. And when they arrived in Kyoto, they caused a riot. Literally. Oda Nobunaga, the most feared and forward-thinking daimyo in Japan, was fascinated by the foreign world. When he heard rumors of a giant black man in Kyoto, he demanded to see him. Witnesses say Yasuke stood over 6 feet 2 inches. Massive by 16th century standards, where the average Japanese man was barely 5 feet tall. The Jesuit records and Japanese archives agree on what happened next. Nobunaga ordered Yasuke to be stripped to the waist and scrubbed, convinced his skin was covered in black ink. But when the color didn't come off, Nobunaga was amazed. "This man is no beast," he reportedly said. "He is strong, and his character is excellent." Yasuke had earned his respect. What happened next was unheard of. Nobunaga invited Yasuke into his household, not as a novelty, but as a warrior. He was given residence in the Azuchi Castle, a katana, and eventually became a samurai retainer, a title rarely, if ever, bestowed on a non-Japanese. Was also given a Japanese name, Yasuke. And unlike others, Yasuke was allowed to dine with Nobunaga, ride beside him, and serve in his inner circle. A Jesuit record from 1581 even states Yasuke spoke fluent Japanese, evidence of how deeply he had integrated. But Yasuke's rise would collide with tragedy. In 1582, one of Nobunaga's generals, Akechi Mitsuhide, betrayed him in a shocking coup. As the Honnō-ji temple burned, Nobunaga committed seppuku ritual suicide. Yasuke was there. He fought to protect Nobunaga's heir, Oda Nobunaga, and later joined the last stand at Niyu Castle. But the rebellion was overwhelming. Yasuke surrendered. Here, history fades, but doesn't vanish. Jesuit records state that Yasuke was handed over to the missionaries, not executed. Suwad, it seems, saw no need to kill him, perhaps because Yasuke wasn't Japanese. Perhaps because even Mitsuhide knew Yasuke was not his enemy, likely lived out his life in service of the Jesuits once more. But no written records confirm where or when he died. He vanished from history, but not from memory. For centuries, Yasuke's story was buried in footnotes and faded scrolls. But today, historians Japanese and global have begun to restore his legacy. Yasuke was not a myth. He was not a sidekick or a token. He was a warrior, a samurai, who earned his place in one of Japan's most elite circles through strength, loyalty, and honor. He challenges everything we thought we knew about race, about belonging, and about power in the ancient world. History, as they say, is written by the victors. Sometimes it's also whispered by survivors. In an age where most men look down on outsiders, one man rose above it, not by blood, but by blade, not by birth, but by courage. Yasuke was not just the first African samurai. He was proof that even in the most unexpected of places, greatness can be recognized and remembered.